Hey everyone, I'm back painting my blue spotted ray. So last time I managed to get most of my colour down here. I've got the background of the green colour done. I'm going to need to lighten up around here today. I'm hoping by the end of today I'll actually have completed, or basically completed, the whole ray. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to sort out this tail. The tail's really quite detailed, so I'll focus on that. And then I'll continue on lightening up this area and then painting all the spots individually because they have a nice sort of dark border. So let's have a look at, let's actually have a look at the reference image. So you can see all the spots have a little bit of a border. These ones are a lot darker here and lighter there. My camera seems quite dark. So let me see if I can increase that. Bear with me. Oh, that's gone the wrong way. I think that's probably more true to form. Maybe that. So yeah, let's get started. So I've got a new palette. I've stopped using plastic plates. I actually bought a proper palette. Let's see if this is going to suit me well. As I say, I'm going to do the detail on the tail first of all. It's really quite detailed. I can't really zoom into the reference image. But if you have a look at the reference image, you can see how detailed the tail actually is. Got this sort of zigzag pattern. And it's got a nice shadow underneath as well. So let's start off by, I guess, getting some paint down. So as I've been doing with this whole project, I've been using a lot of yellow ochre. I'll grab a bit of that. Oh. Stuck shut there. And I've been using this green, which is Hooker's green. I'm going to use a fairly small brush for this. So I think this is one of my smaller brushes. There's another one that I like to use. Here's one I haven't used before. It's slightly bigger than the ones I've been using. But yeah, let's have a go at this and see how this one works. So this is the first time I've actually ever used a proper palette. I much prefer a Well, I not much I prefer. I've been using plates previously. But I thought I'd buy a proper palette and see if that actually makes any difference or not. Mixing the colour, and actually as I mix those two, it seems a lot smoother and a lot nicer to actually mix there, so maybe it is going to make a big difference. This tail's actually quite a strange colour. It's a lot darker than the rest of the fish, or the ray. I also might have got the shape a little bit wrong, so I might use the background and cut the background into it once I do the background later on. I think I'll probably do the background tomorrow. And then that'll be this painting finished, and we'll start a new one on Monday. Got any questions on going on? Just shout out in the chat. So it's very grey at the top of this tail, so I'm just whacking down a bit of colour right now, and then I'm going to layer it up, and it's going to be quite dark. I bought some Payne's Grey, so this is the colour I tend to use for detail. It's open. Yeah, it's open. So I'm going to mix a bit of the colour I mixed with a bit of Payne's Grey. Just to make it that light, rich, dark green. So the way I paint, I tend to paint from dark to light. I find that's a lot easier. I know with things like watercolours you have to go from light to dark, because you can't paint over the dark, but with acrylics you can. Add a bit more Payne's Grey. There's a lot of highlights on the ray throughout with the sand. It's almost white. It's not quite white, but it's almost a white or very light beige colour. So I'll be doing an awful lot of that later on. Now, interestingly, it actually gets lighter as you go to the bottom. It sort of turns into the sandy colour rather than gets darker. So I'll try and implement that in this painting today. These fins are actually quite blue, but I'll just do the backgrounds. And we've got some quite spikiness at the bottom, at the back here. I'll just put that detail in with the little spikes. I do really need to do some sorting out of this tail. I didn't draw it very well. It's really quite the wrong shape. Just adding a bit of water. quite a dark shadow that sort of runs all the way to the back here. As usual, I'm just going to blend it in using my finger. My opinion, the best tool you've got to paint is actually your finger. Comes out like that. I was asked earlier on today if I'm able to paint without a reference image. The short answer to that is no. The long answer to that is I probably haven't tried enough to see if I can do that. So maybe I'll try on a stream one day. Get a load of watchers. Hopefully I won't chase you all the way. Sounds quite Christmassy, this song. I just use generic kitchen towel to clean my brushes. I'm going forward, obviously with water. So, oops. The photo has sort of a lightish bit underneath the blue stripe. Might even be a bit lighter than that. I'm actually going to put down a bit of soft beige on my palette. That's almost white. If you're interested in seeing what my studio looks like, go and have a look at the video I made yesterday. Oh, sorry, the day before. Well, the stream. Go towards the end of the stream and you'll see the whole studio. I might just make a video out of that actually. You see I'm mixing this on the palette, so it's still got a bit of weight, not palette. Is this song really royalty free? Well, I am paying Epidemic Sounds, but I suppose no one owns the copyright of this song. Quite a nice sand colour that. I might use that for the sand. This beige. Rather than doing white and off-white. Yeah, I think that's quite a nice sandy colour. So yeah. That's an idea when I do the background. If you have any suggestions as I'm painting, let me know. Really helpful. As I say, I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to streaming or anything. I'm getting quite a few people watching the sort of the replays of the streams, but I think I need to create some videos. So once this painting's done, I'll create a video. I might create a video of a tour of my studio so people can actually see what it looks like. Sort of guide people in, and then go from there. I think it's very difficult to grab people just by streaming. I think what we really have to do is grab people, sort of build your audience through videos and stuff, and then from there people will come to the streams. So in fact the only reason I actually started streaming was so I could create the videos. Because I'm recording the easel cam, so this cam, so I can create time-lapse videos of my paintings. using a palette is so much better than using a plate. I didn't realise how much better it was. Kind of keeps the paint more moist for longer. The plastic plates, I don't know what it is. Maybe this guy got a non-stick coating or something. I don't think I'm doing this tail much justice. Maybe I am. I've got a blue strip, but I'll wait for that to completely dry before I do more of that. It does need a bit more colour down here, actually. On the spiky bits. And then I need to bring in the shadow a little bit more. That dark bit there is the shadow, not the actual tail. So I'll do that probably later on. I'll do that when I'm doing the background, to be honest. There's no point doing the shadow now. So I'll bring in the blue later on. So, what I'll do now is I'll lighten up this area, which just needs to be a little bit lighter. I'll do that by adding... Obviously, I'll put white down. I'll put it over here. Maybe a little bit more. I always overdo the white. And I'm basically going to put a light... I was going to put yellow ochre, but actually what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to do quite a light hooker's green. It has a touch of yellow in the whole skin around this animal. I'm going to throw in some yellow. Didn't need to put that much in, by the way. So I'm going to change brushes as well. I'm going to go to... Am I going to use this one? Yeah, I'll use this one. So it's quite a yellowy green, this. Put way too much paint down. In fact, it's pretty close to the image, that paint. I don't know if you can see on the easel how close that paint there, sorry, the palette, that closest paint is to this area on the ray. So as I say, this is just going to be a sort of wash that I'm going to rub on myself. Be a bit more watered down. Let me know what you think of the music. I need to change it. I'm going for the ASMR sort of chilled out vibe, so people can watch this in the background, listening to my slightly chocolatey voice. How the people in my marketing department describe my voice. Hot chocolate. So I've been telling people a little bit about my scuba diving whilst I've been streaming. And I guess this is kind of the inspiration of this painting, because without scuba diving I wouldn't ever be able to, well, first of all, taken this photo to paint. But secondly, I don't think I'd understand the intricacies of underwater colours. So when you go scuba diving, what's really interesting about it is the red in the scuba diving sort of disappears. So everything becomes a bit sort of blue and green and a bit yeah. However, if you add artificial light, it becomes absolutely stunningly beautiful. The reason the red disappears is because through water it just doesn't really through water the red colour doesn't sort of reach. It's filtered out. So yeah. It's an interesting song choice. So I've just put it on a relaxing playlist. Totally convinced I like it. Step back and see what that looks like. I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. I'm going to do a slightly lighter area. Nice highlight up here. So, sorry, going back to adding artificial light when you dive. Weirdly, night dives, when it's completely pitch black, because you're using a torch, you actually see a lot more than when you do during the day, because all the light just comes up and all the colours come up. So it's really, really nice to see. I think I might need to adjust the camera. It's looking a bit washed out in terms of colour. See, that's definitely green on my palette, but it looks very white on the camera. So let me just try and turn down the lightness again. Maybe just go down one notch. I don't think that made much difference. This is very green that I'm putting on, and then as soon as it hits the thing, it's quite white. So I'm going to go straight white. There's a few little lines along here. I'm not going to leave them as white. Oh, I might do actually. That's really quite nice, isn't it? That adds a bit of texture. Am I going to leave that? Yes, I'm going to leave that. That's showing a lot of highlighted ridges across there. Yeah, I think that works quite well. I might put a yellow wash all over it. Don't know, I'll test an area. I think it is missing a bit of yellow. Because the skin is a very yellowy green. I don't think I've captured that in all the, so far in all of the... I don't think I've captured it in all of the skin that I've already done. Sorry, 2 seconds. Sorry, real life sometimes gets in the way of entertainment there. That takes us to a good point, actually. So in my work, one of the things I'm really crucial on, because I manage quite a large team, one of the things I really value is your life comes first. Regardless, your life comes first. So work priorities should always wait for your life, if that makes sense. If one of my team really needs some time off or need to go home early, absolutely they can. The reason being is because I know they're going to come back performing better and just genuinely happier to be there. If you've given them those opportunities to go and do stuff. Without those opportunities to do stuff in their life, they're going to come back miserable. They're not going to work as well as possible. So if you're a manager out there and you're of the opinion that their job comes first, just sit back and think and realise that actually a happy employee is going to be a much better employee. Obviously, if anyone's taking the mickey, that's a totally different matter. But generally speaking, I don't think that many people want to take the mickey. I think to gain respect from your employees, you really have to treat them with the respect yourself. And if you don't, then you're going to struggle to keep the quality of work up and have people go home. It's absolutely critical that your whole workforce is happy to work where they're working. If they're not happy, they're going to treat customers badly, they're going to treat you badly, they're going to not put in the effort. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there's a few people I know who are treated really badly at work. I think it's just totally unnecessary. Just totally unnecessary, unfortunately. But hey, that's just the way life is sometimes. I don't know what's happened to the sound. Let me see what's going on here. I need to sort out this playlist. Not great, is it? So I'm just adding some of the specs for the I think the sand that sort of attached itself. I don't really know why I'm doing this now, because I'm going to paint over a lot of it, so it's a bit pointless to me. Again, I'm just adding some texture around the wings. Assume they're called wings? Fins? Wings? No, they're more wings than this thing. I don't know. Any of you aspiring David Attenboroughs can correct me as to what they're called, whether it's wings or fins or what. So these highlights on the eye don't actually exist in the real thing. However, it'll bring the character to life. Always brings the character to life when you add eyes. Highlights on the eyes. Right, I'm going to attempt a yellow wash. Don't know how successful this is going to be. Basically, when I call it a wash, quite a watered down yellow. As you can see there, you see that? Yeah, you can see that. I'm going to apply it to most of this. Yeah, I think that's going to work nicely, that. So it's going to completely change the colour without changing any of the background detail. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yellow was the colour I was missing, to be honest. It's really good. Really happy with that yellow. I'm going to let it flow into the tail. Even at the front, we're missing some yellow. Around here, I reckon, is going to need to be a bit yellow. Sorry, I was just life getting in the way again. I'll just add a bit of yellow to this area here, scrub it in. Like this whole ridge here needs to be yellowish, I think. Wow, that's really made the animal come to life, the ray come to life. It's really, really nice. Just those little touches of yellow there, there and there. Actually, a little bit more of a touch around here, I reckon. It's amazing how such a fake yellow, which is what this is. This is lemon yellow, comparable to lemon fake flavouring that you get in sweets and stuff. Just going to use this a sec. I did notice there was a very brutal line here when I was creating the thumbnails. That doesn't actually exist in the animal, in the ray, so... Yeah, I think it's done really well, I really do. So as I said, I'll go back to the tail. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with the tail actually. I'm going to fade in a bit of yellow. It's not really got yellow, but I'm going to transfer the colour there. So as I said, my plan today is just to finish off the whole body of the ray, and then tomorrow I'll just deal with the background. What do you think if I should put shorts up of every single day in 1 minute, a time lapse of start to finish, and just, yeah, super duper time lapse? Try and cut out the bits where I'm actually there. Maybe they see my hand just going whizzing across the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to start on the actual spots themselves. So what the spots are, they actually, the centre of them, they're obviously the colour that they are, but they're really, towards the edge, they get really dark. So I'm going to be using a bit of Payne's Grey for that all over. So let me put down a couple of blues. Use ultramarine. Just cleaning the brushes as you go along. I'm just filling in the middle of some of the So I'm just roughly putting down those spots at the moment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint over them. I'm going to make sure the blue colour is the main colour in the centre of these. And each spot I'm just going to go through, do the outside, hopefully blend the outside in with the centre. So these lighter ones I've sort of covered over with the paint already. I'm just remaking them strong. Like this one here, which has almost disappeared entirely. Just bring it back out of the from behind, so make it in the foreground. My easel's not very stable when I stand on it. Oh, sorry, when I lean on it. So I think what I've done there, I've brought out the spots a little bit more. Let's do these ones here. This paint is drying very quickly. just thinned it out with a tiny bit of water.
What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleep?
Really copyright free as well.
Whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds.
I don't know why we listen to hymns.
and angels sing. Hey.
What the next one is. If you guys have any tips on how I could grow the channel, grow my paintings. So my first thing is create videos, create shorts, and then I'll create the sort of longer form content. So for the whole painting, I'll do like a 10 or 20-minute video with just me voicing over. So if you've got any tips on how to achieve that, or how to change that, on how to sort of grab the audience better, just let me know. Put it in the comment if you're watching this back later on, or just tell me now. I am streaming to multiple platforms, by the way, so if you can't see the chats, then that might be why. I don't have many viewers, but I'm getting there. I'm trying. I'm going to go around the edges of some of these and just sort of put in a bit of blue. But most of these spots are actually bordered with a darker blue. They're not sort of a linear blue. Clean my finger here. Still need to the tail, don't I? I'm not sure Twitch is really the right platform for art. There seems to be very few people viewing art when you search for the tag of art. So I think I might focus a bit more on YouTube. I signed up to Picato as well. Not getting any streams there. I know quite a lot of people use Kick, so I might start signing up to there. I guess it's for this kind of stuff, there's two markets. There's a very long form where people will fall asleep to what I'm doing, like ASMR, sort of relaxing, chilling vibes, that sort of thing. So the sort of bedtime market. And then you've got the really short shorts where you can really show off your work and how you built it in a very short amount of time. So for each painting, so for this painting, I could do a short for each episode that I'm doing. Now if I manage to do a short for each episode and it gets some views, then maybe that'll bring people onto the long form content to actually understand exactly how I'm doing everything. The way we're consuming information these days is totally different. So I'm just going over these roughly around the edges. That's really making them all pop as well, which is really, really nice. I always need to remind myself, you start at the top so you don't get your wrist in the way and get all the paint that you've done. Or I should start over here and work this way. But no, I'll always work from I don't use reference image for this. I know what look I'm trying to get out of this. Needs a bit of watering down that paint there. I really don't know how to get viewers on Twitch. I don't know. Okay, I will make a schedule, which is going to help, but just really don't know. Do you raid other people's art channels and say, come and see me? I don't know if that's effective, / is it doable? Try and make friends with other art channels. They can push you. Problem is, there's hardly any art channels, so I don't know. I change the text as I'm going through in Twitch. Edit the stream. I don't think I can. I'm just doing a vague outline of these again. Don't really like that. Let's just put my finger on them to fade all that down. These ones probably. The darker ones, I'll do the darker outlines. Like these ones here. So I'll try this for a good 6 months and see how it works. There's no point giving up straight away in terms of numbers. But even if I'm entertaining 10 people, I mean, it's worth it, isn't it? I think my videos will probably have a lot more viewers. Hopefully in the hundreds or the thousands. And we'll grow from there. Key thing is, I think you really have to try and grow with your viewers, with your loyal fan base. How do you think that looks, guys? Dropped the paintbrush there. Right, quite a lot of these actually have a bit of white highlighting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my trusted technique of just adding the highlight, and using my finger to smudge it in. Especially the ones on the top, they are quite nicely highlighted. As I said, my goal by the end of today is to make sure that the actual body is fully finished. Then I'll go to, tomorrow I'll do sort of the outside. So I've been going about 50 minutes. So I'm adding highlights on all these blue spots just to sort of bring them out from the background. So I've done a little ring of blue, of sort of a darker blue or grey around the edge of all these spots, and I'm now adding a highlight to try and even emphasize that even more. So this really does become a very blue spotted ray. Over the top there. Again. I'm now going back to the tail. It's got a long stripe along it. Quite a thick blue stripe, this tail. Definitely a bit of ultramarine-esque colour on the tail here. So I've done the tail not very well. I need to fix it when I do the background because I need to take make it a little bit thinner. Saying that though, sort of fizzles out into the body, this tail. If I do that, it gets fizzled out. pretty nice highlights up here as well. So if I just roughly do that. Across the whole of the top of the tail. This isn't actually in the image, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nice highlight along there, buzz it out. Reason, it defines itself from the background. Remember, we're painting what pleases the eye, not what's in the photograph. I'm creating some highlights here, just to define what's going on with this actual animal. So I'm just kind of creating an outline so your eyes can be drawn to it. So right now I've just made that tail pop through the white highlights that I put on. I'm going to put a highlight on this tip as well. Again, just to make it pop. I'm going to make sure this highlight here is a bit increased. Nice highlight along this ridge. This is the way I like working. I like highlighting different ridges, just to make sure that you can see those differences in depth. A nice ridge there. Hopefully that will highlight that. So yeah, I've just bordered that ridge, and see how much the eye pops now? Because I've just bordered it. Now, even though the image doesn't have a highlight here, I'm going to put one in. It's bordering that ridge again. I'm really happy with how this is going at the moment. Just going to grab some... Is this dry? Yeah. All gone a bit dry, this bit. Okay, that's not dry. I'm really hoping that this new palette is much easier cleanable. As I say, I've never really used a palette before. I've always used plastic plates. I'm just adding a little bit more texture in this area to highlight those lines that exist. I'm using a darker green. Try and keeping it as fine as possible. The way I do that is just run my hand. I'm resting my hand on the paint. This is why I like acrylics, because no way you could rest your hand if you're using oils, because they take forever to dry. Just smudge the whole thing. I just don't get on with oils. Never have. I tried them in school once. Whew. Disaster. They also make me go a bit loopy with the smell. So I think next week, tomorrow I'll put up a schedule of what I'm going to do next week. I don't know what I'm going to paint once I finish this. So every week I'm going to be doing... So I'm going to run 2 paintings concurrently. I'm going to do a human and I'm going to do an animal. They're my 2 favourite things to do. I might do a weekend stream, which is a bit more abstract-y. Like... sort of... I don't know how to describe it. Line art. I do quite like doing line art as well. Or stencils, without actually using stencils. So painting like it's a stencil without actually using a stencil. Right, there's a subtle colour change here actually, so that's a lot yellower than that. Now the question is, do I make that yellower or do I make that darker? I think looking at the palette, looking at the picture, I need to make the top yellower. So do I still have life in this paint? I do. Although that's just gone green. Let's go here. So, what it does, it comes up round here and then down. Does it go that far? No, it goes even further than that, actually. I think it goes about here. So I'm just going to create that ridge and basically make it very yellow. Can you see that? It's like there's a little ridge there. And what I'm going to do with that ridge, right on the edge, just to make it stand out a little bit more, even though you can barely see it in the image. I'll show you the image. So you see that sort of ridge there, which is what I'm doing now. I'll stand it out by creating like a white, slightly lighter white highlight on the edge, just so it stands out much more than it was anyway. I'm going to blend it into here using my finger technique. Just blend it in. Yeah, I think that's really defined where its head is actually. There. And it sort of blends in down here. So I'm going to grab that and then just use my finger to smudge it in. So it's all nicely blended. And I'm going to grab my white, probably mix it with a tad of yellow. Going to bring the highlight all the way from the top here. See, am I in the way? No. No. Just going to bring it all the way along here. And then I'm just going to smudge it into the yellow and try not to smudge it the other way. You can see there's a subtle ridge there where its head is. Right. I'm going to go back to highlighting all the sand now. It's all over the animal. I wasn't planning to do this, to be honest, but I've just seen that when I did do it, the effect was quite nice actually. Just sort of dabbing it on gently. I'm going to use one of my good brushes though. So this is all very few highlights down here. This sort of behaviour isn't very good for brushes, especially if you accidentally make it. So this is the kind of thing where you can be a bit sort of freestyle with. You don't have to put the sand exactly where it is. However, in this instance, I probably will use my reference image a little bit more. The reason is because it's quite difficult to show where it's naturally going to lie. So I'm sort of using it as a reference, but a very rough reference. Quite a bit down here. Also, I haven't put when I was doing the spots, I didn't really pay any attention to where they went. Maybe I did a bit of rough attention, but really doesn't matter, does it? always remember to step back. Yeah, that's alright. I don't know about you, but I really dislike violins. I think my canvas is too low. When I next do a landscape A2, I think I'm going to bring it a bit higher up to here. I'm bending over a bit and it's hurting my back. Probably not interested, but I've also got a very soft flooring in here. Maybe if I wash shoes, actually, it'd be nicer. I've put in like that rubberized gym mat flooring stuff, just so it can't hear my clogs when I'm walking around. Maybe I should put shoes on. There's a lot of actual sand up here that actually. So this is bringing it to life a little bit as well. I know you're not necessarily going to be able to tell it's sand, but adding all these little dots and sort of imperfections, what makes it look kind of though it's part of the environment. So I'm going to use the beige colour a lot in the background, I think. Just going to sort of blend this in a little bit. So when I release my first video, I really hope it's going to start taking off, because this is when that should attract people to my channel, because it's a lot easier for people to find videos than it is to find the streams themselves. Right, I'm just gonna sort of chill for the next sort of 2-3 minutes. I'm gonna put some shoes on, see if that's gonna help my back. and then I'll come back and I might even finish the whole painting today. But I need to finish the tail, and I might start on the sand around.
Wide awake, all the memories are on replay. I reach for you, but you're thousands of miles away. Every heartbeat, every breath is filled with thoughts of you. I am so lost without you, and I don't know what to do. Sleepless nights, filled with all the things I didn't say, that will make it okay. Turn back time, never let you slip away. Every heartbeat, every breath is filled with thoughts of you. I am so lost without you, and I don't know what to do. Made you fall out of love, I made you give up on us. I made you turn away from all the things we were. Now I don't know what to do.
So I'm back. So I've pretty much finished the body now. Have a quick look, see if there's anything there. I still need to do the tail, don't I? So, first thing I'm actually going to do is not necessarily the tail. I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow and just make this a bit more yellow. Okay, look at that highlight. Look at what that yellow's done. It's really brought up that top area there. I don't know if you can see that as well on camera. There's quite a lot of beigey, sandy stuff. Getting a bit dry, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water there. There we go. There's like a pattern here which makes it look like his tail is in the sand. I guess that's for evolution, so it can catch its prey. I assume this is a stingray. It sort of zigzags. This. All the way along. Sort of evens out as you get towards the tail. Just going to dab my finger all over it just so it's not quite as in your face. Tell you what, in 100 years, if they ever find these canvases, don't recognise my signature, they'll be able to idea from all the fingerprints that I've got all over it inside the painting. I'm going to put the highlight up there again. That's what it looks like there. Down there as well. Stunning. How's the sound, by the way? I did an awful lot of work on it because it really wasn't very good on my previous streams. To be honest, I had a setting which was just wrong. But I think I've fixed it all now. Let me know if the sound is pretty good. Can you guys hear me well? Excellent. Sorry about this. How was that? So there's some sand down here. Oh, that's a lot of paint on the brush. So as I say, if you're watching this in the rerun as a so the repeats are not the actual stream, let me know what you do with it. Are you watching it to fall asleep? Are you watching it as you just to chill out as you go to bed? It'd be interesting to know exactly how. So I'm getting quite good views on these videos. It'd be interesting to see how you guys are like receiving it or how you're using it, because the whole idea is about mindfulness and helping you sort of cope with all those horrible burdens that the world throws at people, especially nowadays. Well, I don't know, it's probably always been like that. Just get to an age where you realise things are going on. Okay, I made a mistake there. I think that looks quite nice. I think it looks pretty good. Oh, it's done here. Just whack that on too hard. Heavy. This bit probably needs a bit more focus. More sort of lines, I guess. This area is all about the lines. Yeah, I think that works quite well, to be honest. I think as a painting, this is quite a nice. I don't know what the market of this painting would be. See what happens. See if people want to keep. Stick on someone's wall somewhere. Maybe a diving shops. Right, so that I believe is pretty much the ray finished. Can't see any obvious things that I need to change or need to do. I could keep going at it forever. As with any painting, I'm going to put a few lines of highlight down here. So I could keep going on it forever, but what's the point really? I'm not really ultra realistic kind of painter, to be honest. So, what my intention is now, I probably want to do a wash of the very light beigey orangey colour throughout the area, throughout the painting. So, I'm going to grab the beige, put it there. I need a bit more than that actually. And I'm going to use that yellow that's on the other side of the palette over here to mix it in with slightly. That'll be, just make it slightly yellower. I've picked up a bit of yellow, yeah. So that's going to sort of nice sort of it's going to be nice to sort of using the same colours in the ray as on the sort of colour transfer or colour references. I'm going to try and stick true form to the shape of the shadows because they do this, and then I'll do the shadows. I tend to work from dark to light, to be fair, so I should have done the shadows first. To be honest, I might just do that. Still got some Payne's grey down there. The shadows do have quite a lot of detail. But I'm just going to paint them hard right now. I'm going to use Payne's grey for it, my favourite colour. I don't like using black. Some people do, some people don't. I think it's just a little bit harsh. Also, there's no real true black in the world unless it's pitch black. Like at night sort of thing. It's not a realistic colour as such. However, this sort of bluey, grey shadow I think is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to soften this up a little bit with it. Oh, and the tail. The shadow under the tail. This needs a really well defined base. Make it look like a shadow. I don't think I've managed to achieve that. No, still haven't managed to achieve it. That's cool. Right, so that's part of the shadow. And then in the photo, the shadow is quite orangey. That sort of merges around from that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a sort of... I've used cadmium orange a few times. So I'm going to mix that. It's way too much orange, to be fair. With some of the beige. And I don't think it needs anything more than that. It's quite a reddy shadow. I've still got paint on the grab a bit of beige. So that's going to come down essentially like that. It's going to bring itself down about here. And that's what it's going to look like, the shadow. Now this is artificially created, the shadow, through the flashlights I had on the camera. But I don't think that is a problem, because it looks fairly natural. Now obviously there's a lot of detail in the sand and the rocks around, which I may do today. To be honest, if I don't do it today, then I'll probably just do it off camera, to be honest. So I think it looks quite good, to be honest. The colour on my monitor is definitely very different from the colour on this. I don't know whether it's my monitor's colour, the way the camera's processing. But I'll have a look on my phone at the recording and see how accurate it is, because phones tend to be quite accurate these days. There's quite a lot of shadow down under here, so that same orange shadow comes under here. This is probably the wrong way around to do it, but there's a rock here, which I don't think I was going to paint, but I might as well. I might as well infer the colour at least. Seeing as I've got it here. Remember, this is the background, it doesn't really matter what the background's doing. So you see how I've got the orange sort of inferring the colour? It makes the whole painting a lot warmer. You do some colour inference. A little bit down here, sort of thing. So yeah, that works quite well. So I don't think I'm going to stream to Picato anymore. It's completely pointless effort. So I googled what's the best app to stream artwork on, and I found Picato. All the reviews were amazing. I didn't actually check out the website. I just thought, oh, it's a dedicated artistic streaming service. I thought, well, what a great thing that is. I wouldn't advise you going to visit it, to be honest. There's some questionable content. Put it this way, very, very different kind of art from what I'm doing. Very different. It's the kind of stuff you would, well, first of all, it's mostly digital art, so people do it on tablets. And then secondly, it's the kind of stuff you'd find in, I guess, certain sort of Japanese magazines. So yeah, I'm currently streaming that. I've got no viewers. It's completely the wrong platform, so I'm just going to cut it out. And actually, because it requires, actually wants a lower quality than Twitch or YouTube or Kick. The problem there is, it's actually affecting the quality of my other streams. Yeah, it's not ideal, so I'll stop streaming on Picato. I'll just delete my account. I don't think there's any need to explore that sort of thing. It's certainly not my cup of tea, to put it that way. A bit more water this area. beige is very cloggy. It clots quite a lot. Let me... Yeah, I think I will finish this today. As I say, I'm just going to do the background really roughly. I'll do a bit of a staccato effect. I don't know if that's a real word, but well, I know it's a real word, but I don't know if it means what I think it means. I'm going to do a bit of a sort of staccato effect when sort of do the texture on the sand. Sprayed paint everywhere there. Don't know where it will end up, but hey. Running out of paint here. But that thing again where I say I work from dark to light, and I've done all the light first, so I haven't really done the background yet. As I say, this is a bit of a first wash. Just grab some more beige. A bit of the yellow. Bit of the water. Perfect. YouTube is definitely doing a lot better than Twitch is, but from what I hear, Twitch, you really have to stick at it for quite a long time before you get views, because they never push them to the top. They don't push new content to the top unless you are really sticking at it and making an effort of it. It's their algorithm. Whereas I think YouTube is a little bit more random. There are occasionally it'll end up in people's feeds if their AI has seen, actually, you watch artistic stuff, so the AI will pick up that this is an artist stream, and then from the artist stream they'll pick up people who watch similar kind of things. And I was going to sort out the tail, didn't I? Let's move out all this, and then I'm going to get a smaller brush to sort out the tail. Will do. But perfectly honest, right? A lot of artists out there who are making money, who I don't think are very good. However, there's a lot more artists out there making money who I think are very good. But the question is, how do you get that market? How do you get that one person to bite who's going to refer them to all their friends? I think there's a lot of luck in the market as well. It's not just about being a good paintist. Paintist? Painter. Maybe that's what I should have called myself, Ollie the Paintist. Create a new adjective whilst I'm at it. I think I'm going to get this finished by... I want to finish the stream at 8 o'clock. I don't think I'm going to get this finished. So I'm hoping my first couple of videos, it'll take a long time for my videos start getting views. You're never going to get views straight away, but I'm hoping maybe they'll get 100 or something from that, a couple of subscribers. And then from there, it'll just grow hopefully when people start sort of recognizing and I'm on streams and stuff. So there may be 1 or 2 dedicated followers. I do have a Patreon as well. I haven't really set that up though. I think you're like marketing myself for commissions through Patreon. So let me step back now. I think that looks really good, to be honest. I know I said that myself, but I really do. So, question is, how am I going to tackle A, the background, and B, or am I going to... I never really do detailed backgrounds. Maybe I should just leave it. Maybe I should just leave the background a little bit more loose. Don't know what I just did there, by the way. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to end up finishing this off stream when I do. So I'll carry on until 8 o'clock, and then tomorrow I'll work out what to do in the background. I might still film it and then put the time lapse on. The film in the background isn't particularly interesting for you guys, or for me, to be honest. Adding a bit of shadow there. Ooh. Tell you what, wearing shoes is a massive help. Interesting to see if this palette cleans up nicely. One of the issues I hate the amount of plastic I went through when I was doing the using white plastic plates as palettes. Saying that, this palette is completely useless if I can't get it white after every single stream, and that's in my opinion. Maybe I should like top it with cling film or something. That would even work. I'm being very stingy with the paint here. Needs more. Oh, a bit much, but okay. I used to paint in my shed. Wasn't that pleasant, really? A bit cold. A bit dark, actually. There wasn't a lot of light. Now I've got these proper lights filming. That actually makes my artwork a lot easier to see when I'm painting. I know that sounds obvious, but... Oops. Maybe that'll work, actually. Let's try and make that work. Why not? Why not have a bit of orange? Quite like that. Wow. There we go. Got an orange shadow. Blends into the background. Let's pretend that wasn't an accident. As I say, you need to infer the colour from the actual main animal, otherwise the whole painting will look a little bit out of place. And I think the main, although obviously there's a lot less orange on this painting than, say, green or even the beige, the main standout colour in this painting is orange, and that's what brings it all together. And yellow, I guess, but I haven't put any yellow on the background, really, although the sand is quite yellowy. What happens if I do yellow, actually? Just put a slight wash of yellow. I quite like that as well. Again, this is completely unrealistic. Completely unrealistic. Compared to the image. I'm no longer caring about the image. I'll put a little bit detail of the rock in the background. But I hope you can see now that actually we are underground. There are shadows going on. Sorry, underwater, not underground. There are some nice shadows going on. And I'll finish off all the detail not in the stream. I'll tell you what I'm going to do though on the stream, just if you're interested. So, I'm going to find a fairly light brown. So, sienna is probably a good idea. Actually, start off with yellow ochre. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these brushes. This one I like, this one. So if you see this brush, I don't know if you can see it in palette cam very easily. Do you see this brush? Focus. Old and rough. Now I'm basically going to stab the painting with it using the yellow ochre. I'm going to water it down quite a lot. Then touch it like that. And then, so I quite often do this for hair. I'm just going to see what it looks like. I'm just going to try a little bit of patch up. Yeah, look at that. Then just dab my finger on it. Probably a little bit too much on there. Yeah, you can very quickly see how don't know if you can see if that's detailed enough. And this is how I could just build up some different sort of layers. The beauty of this, you hardly have to go back to the palette because the amount of paint the brush holds way more than you're applying. You can bring that all the way into the shadow as well, because the shadow will then have Bit of texture too. Such a nice way of putting texture. Because it's so fine, the spots, it doesn't really matter, because whenever you're looking for a painting, you're looking from afar, you can't actually see all the sort of like little detail. So this is the way I'm going to texture the painting, I think. Or the background, certainly sand. I don't know what I'm going to do with the up here where all the rocks are. I'll just do this bit for now. Tell me what you think of the music, write a comment. You prefer it to be more folky rather than this sort of slightly jazzy type stuff? Let me know. I was using a soul playlist, but don't know, I got bored of listening to it, to be honest. I mean, I'm obviously going to try and change the music for every single stream and video. Just keeps interest, doesn't it? But too much water on there. Also, feel free to ask me any question in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. If you're watching this in the afterwards. So you can probably hear that banging on the microphone. I put too much water on. I need to dry it off. As I said, I'm going to sort of stick the... put it into the shadow still as well. Put much in the shadow here. I'm going to go over and do the same with a much darker, but much more sporadic. Never know if I become a very famous artist, this being the first painting that I've ever done on a stream. Never know. It'll be worth quite a lot of money one day. Maybe I'll even give it away as part of a giveaway. Obviously when I'm dead, because artists don't make any money when they're alive. So, one of the things I've learnt with art, you really don't have to paint the colour that you see. You have to paint the colour that you want to see. If that makes sense at all. At least that's what I do these days. Paint the colour I want to see. Paint the colour that I think feels right rather than what's on the photo. So this yellow ochre, there's no yellow ochre on the sand, but because I painted the ray with a lot of yellow ochre, it's going to bring it all and draw it all back in. So it's really coming together, this painting, really nicely. And as I say, I'm going to come back and do it on a darker colour later on. I'm going to finish the stream once I finish this yellow ochre section. And then I'll just finish it off. I'll create a YouTube short or something, or a whole YouTube video for this whole painting. So I'm recording everything. gonna whack a bit of yellow ochre up here, bring it all in. I fit a lot more than I did elsewhere. Make it a little bit tougher, more opaque, I guess. There's a really, really nice blue, sea blue here. Might do that. I don't know if you're watching this and you just want to learn some tips. I've never been trained in art. There's probably way better ways of doing it than what I am. However, if it works out for you, please let me know. Or if you can think of a better way that I'm doing stuff, please also let me know. Right, am I going to finish off with this beautiful blue there? A really, really nice aqua blue. It's a mixture of two colours, I think, that I don't think I would ever ordinarily use. So I'll just clean that brush. So it's yellow green, which I've actually already used in the painting. And I don't know whether it's a sky blue or light grey blue. Let me try the light grey blue first. I keep kicking the thing. I'm going to whack on the sky blue now. Really turquoisey colour. I'll whack on some white, which I've still got there. A bit more. And I think that might be the colour there. Really sort of nice turquoisey colour. What it's going to look like is going to look like this. I'll paint the background first, which is what this is. So you can see almost right through into the, you can see right through into the seabed. This is the background. So this breaks my rule of painting light to dark. That doesn't really matter in this case because this is the background, not the foreground. I'll be painting the darker foreground. It's quite rare that the background is light. Sorry, that's should be a flat. Yeah, that actually looks really nice. And then when I come and do the foreground around it, which is going to be really dark, it'll look really nice. Anyway, as I said, I was going to finish at 8 o'clock, so it's now 8 o'clock. I'm going to finish this off stream. I'll create a video, put it online, watch the video. I don't know, my first video, probably 20 minutes. Me talking over the entire stream. So yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments if you're watching this afterwards. So, thank you for coming, and I'll see you next time. I will put a schedule up, by the way. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. I might do. It depends if I can think of something to paint. Let me know if there's something else you want me to paint. I'll do a portrait next if I can get somebody to do a portrait of. So yeah, that'll be fantastic. Cheers. See you guys. Thanks for watching.